Welcome back, everyone, to the deep dive. I've been really digging into a topic lately that I think is super relevant to all of us.
Okay.
It's how to make AI projects actually work.
Mm.
You know, we hear all this hype about AI changing the world, but so many of these projects just flop.
Yeah.
So I've been looking at this certification
Mm-hmm.
called CPMAI,
Okay.
Certified Project Manager for Artificial Intelligence.
Okay.
And I've got like articles, courses, descriptions of the whole program.
Wow.
And let me tell you,
Yeah.
it's really eye-opening.
What kind of things are you finding?
Well, first of all,
Yeah.
the failure rate of AI projects is crazy high.
Oh, bet. Yeah.
Way more than like regular software.
I can imagine.
And then there are all these unique challenges that come up
I bet.
when you're dealing with AI.
Yeah. Like what?
Like getting the right data,
Right.
making sure the models are actually doing what you want, and
Right.
then figuring out how to deploy it all without causing chaos.
Yeah. You don't want any robot uprisings.
Right. Exactly. But what's interesting is
Yeah.
the CPMAI certification,
Uh-huh.
it really seems to address all of that.
That's really interesting.
It gives you this framework and a
Yeah.
set of best practices for managing these projects successfully.
Yeah, that makes sense. AI project management.
Yeah.
Definitely a hot topic these days.
Yeah. And there are so many misconceptions out there.
Totally. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone thinks they can just jump in and build the next ChatGPT.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's just a matter of throwing some data at a computer and poof.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's so much more than that.
Exactly. So whether you're brand new to AI or you've already got some experience, I think this deep dive is going to give you some valuable insight.
Totally. I'm excited to dig in.
Me too.
Yeah.
So let's start with the big question.
Okay.
Why are AI projects so different
Yeah.
from traditional software development?
Right.
Like I mentioned, the failure rate is alarming.
Oh, for sure.
And it's not just bad luck.
Yeah.
There are fundamental differences in how these projects need to be approached.
So what are some of those differences?
Well, for one thing,
Yeah.
AI projects are way more data dependent.
Oh, definitely. I mean, data is the fuel for AI.
Right. It's not just about writing code.
Right.
It's about feeding the algorithms the right data so they can learn, and that data needs to be high quality.
Totally. Yeah. Garbage in, garbage out, as they say.
Exactly. And then there's the whole model development process,
Right.
which is unlike anything in traditional software.
It's its own beast, for sure.
It's like you're training a digital brain.
Yeah. You got to teach it how to think.
And then there's this whole thing about these 7 patterns of AI.
7 patterns. What's that all about?
So from what I've gathered,
Yeah.
these are like 7 ways that AI can be applied to solve problems.
Interesting.
And CPMAI really dives deep into these patterns
It's okay.
because understanding them is key to picking the right approach
That makes sense.
for your specific project.
So it's about choosing the right AI tool for the job.
Exactly. And another big thing is this idea of the proof of concept trap.
Proof of concept trap. Okay.
So it's easy to get excited about building a cool demo.
Right. Show off the shiny new AI.
But if you're not focused on how that demo
Yeah.
actually delivers business value, it can be a huge waste of time and money.
That's so true. I've seen that happen so many times.
Right. People get caught up in the hype,
Yeah.
but they forget to connect it back to real-world results.
That's got to solve a real problem.
Exactly. And CPMAI really emphasizes that.
Really?
Like it's all about being business-centric
Okay.
and focusing on the ROI of your AI projects.
Makes sense. So it's not just about the tech. It's about the business impact.
Exactly. And then another key difference is the AI project lifecycle.
Oh, yeah. How is that different?
Well, with traditional software,
Yeah.
you usually have a more linear process. You
Oh.
gather requirements, you
Yeah.
design,
Yeah.
you develop, you test, you deploy.
Right.
But with AI, it's much more iterative
Okay.
and continuous.
How so?
Well, you're constantly learning and refining the models
Right.
based on new data.
Okay.
So it's not like you just build it and forget it.
You're constantly tweaking and improving.
Exactly. It's a much more dynamic process.
That makes sense.
Oh,
So that's where CPMAI comes in.
that's where it comes in.
Yeah?
It's this methodology
Oh.
that's specifically designed to manage
Oh.
these unique challenges of AI projects.
So tell me more about this CPMAI thing.
Okay, so from what I've gathered,
Yeah.
it emphasizes being data-centric,
Okay.
iterative.
Uh-huh.
It's vendor neutral.
Vendor neutral. That's good.
Yeah, so you can use it with any AI technology.
Okay.
And most importantly, it's been proven in real-world applications.
So it's not just theory, it actually works.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And the CPMAI certification itself,
Yeah.
it's becoming super valuable.
Really? Why is that?
Well, Employers are starting to realize that they need people who can actually manage these AI projects effectively.
Yeah, with all those challenges we talked about.
Right, and having that CPMAI certification,
Yeah.
it's like a stamp of approval.
Okay.
You know what you're doing.
It shows you've got the skills and knowledge.
Exactly. It gives you credibility.
So it's not just a piece of paper. It actually means something.
Exactly. And it can really boost your career prospects.
I can see that.
Yeah.
So tell me about the different certification options.
Yeah. So there's CPMAI,
Okay.
which is the core certification.
Got it.
Then there's CPMAI Plus, and
it.
CPMAI Plus E.
Okay, what's the difference between all those?
So CPMAI is the foundation.
Okay.
It covers the core methodology.
Uh-huh.
Then the plus levels,
Yeah.
they build on that foundation with
Yeah.
more specialized knowledge.
Like what kind of specialized knowledge?
So CPMAI Plus
Yeah.
focuses on things like big data and data science.
Wow, that's getting pretty advanced.
Yeah. And then CPMAI Plus E, that one goes deep into ethical AI considerations.
That's cool. Ethics is a huge part of AI these days.
It's becoming more and more important.
So they each have a different focus.
Exactly. And they all come with a workbook.
A workbook.
Yeah, to help you apply the concepts to your own projects.
That's handy.
Super helpful.
So it's not just theoretical, it's practical too.
Exactly. So it sounds like CPMAI,
Yeah.
it gives you this structured approach
Uh-huh.
for the entire AI project lifecycle.
Okay, and what does that life cycle look like?
Well, it's broken down into 6 distinct phases.
6 phases. All right, let's hear them.
Okay, so the first one is
Yeah.
business understanding.
Business understanding. Okay, so that's all about figuring out what problem you're trying to solve with AI.
Exactly. And it's not just about saying,
Yeah.
hey, let's do some AI here.
Right, you got to have a clear purpose.
It's about asking AI-specific questions.
Like what kind of questions?
Like, what data do we have about this problem?
Okay.
Can AI actually help us solve this problem? And what are the potential benefits?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's about aligning AI with business goals.
Exactly. And CPMAI uses this tool called the DIQUW pyramid.
IQUW pyramid. Now that sounds interesting.
It's basically a way of visualizing
Okay.
how we move from raw data up to wisdom.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about this pyramid.
So imagine a pyramid.
Okay.
At the bottom.
Yeah.
You have data.
Yeah.
And as you move up, you
Yeah.
have information.
Information.
Knowledge, understanding, and
Right.
finally wisdom at the top.
So it's like a hierarchy of knowledge.
Exactly. And AI can help us move up that pyramid
Okay.
by transforming raw data into actionable insights.
So AI is like the engine that drives us up the pyramid
Exactly. It
Yeah.
helps us make sense of all that data.
and make better decisions.
Precisely. So the DIQUW pyramid,
Yeah.
it's a really helpful tool
Uh-huh.
for that business understanding phase.
But once she's got the business side figured out,
Yeah.
what's next?
And then we move on to data understanding.
Data understanding. Okay, so now we're getting into the nitty-gritty of the data itself.
Exactly. This is where we identify the right data sets for our project
Okay.
and understand the challenges that come with that data.
Right, because data can be messy.
Oh, it can be a nightmare.
Yeah, missing values, inconsistencies, all sorts of fun stuff.
And one of the key concepts here is ground truth data.
Ground truth data.
Okay, what's that?
So this is data that's been labeled or annotated
Okay.
to tell the AI what it's looking at.
Ah, so it's like giving the AI examples to learn from.
Exactly. It's like saying,
Yeah.
hey, this is a picture of a cat.
Okay.
This is a picture of a dog.
Right, so the AI can start to recognize patterns.
Exactly. But getting enough high-quality ground truth data
Yeah.
can be a real challenge.
I bet it's time-consuming and expensive.
It can be.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just don't have enough data.
Right, or the data you have is bad quality.
Exactly. Those are the data quantity and quality issues.
Those are big hurdles for sure.
But luckily.
There are ways to address them.
Oh, good. Like what?
So CPMAI talks about using synthetic data.
Synthetic data.
Yeah.
Okay, what's that?
It's basically artificial data.
Oh, interesting.
It's generated to supplement real data.
Okay, so it's like creating fake data to fill in the gaps.
Exactly. And it can be really helpful when you're dealing with limited data sets.
That's clever.
And then there are pre-trained models.
Pre-trained models. Okay, I've heard of those.
So these are AI models that have already been trained
Yeah.
on massive data sets.
Right.
And you can use them as a starting point.
So you don't have to train the model from scratch.
Exactly.
Right.
It saves a lot of time and effort.
That's a huge advantage.
Yeah.
So those are some pretty handy workarounds.
They are. They can really help you overcome those data challenges.
Okay, so we've identified our data.
Yeah.
We've understood its challenges.
Uh-huh.
What's next?
Now it's time to whip that data into shape.
All right, so data preparation.
Data preparation. This is often the most time-consuming part of an AI project.
I bet it's not the most glamorous work.
It's not, but it's absolutely crucial.
Why is that?
Well, you need to clean the data,
Okay.
transform it,
Mm-hmm.
and prepare it for training AI models.
So it's all about getting the data ready for the AI to digest.
Exactly. And this is where the concept of data ops comes in.
Data ops, okay. Is that like DevOps but for data?
I just got it.
Yeah.
It's about applying those DevOps principles
Oh,
of collaboration, automation,
Yeah.
and continuous improvement
Right.
to the data lifecycle.
So it's about streamlining the whole data process.
Exactly. And it helps ensure that you have a smooth and reliable flow of data
Okay.
throughout your project.
That's important because if the data pipeline breaks down, the whole project grinds to a halt.
Exactly. It's like building a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
But instead of gears and cogs,
Uh-huh.
we're talking about data pipelines and transformation processes.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
So once we have that data pipeline humming along,
Yeah.
what's next?
Then we're ready for the really exciting part,
Oh, yeah. Model development.
model development. All right, right now we're talking.
This is where we start building those AI models
Okay.
that can learn from our data
Yeah.
and make predictions or decisions.
So this is where the AI magic happens.
It's where things get really technical.
I bet a lot of algorithms and code involved.
It can feel a bit like stepping into a mad scientist's lab.
I can imagine, but it's also super exciting.
It is. It's like
Yeah.
you're creating something totally new.
So how do you actually go about developing these models?
Well, first you need to choose the right algorithms.
Okay.
And there are tons of options out there.
I bet it's a whole field in itself.
It is.
Yeah.
And then you need to train the models,
Uh-huh.
which involves feeding them the data
Right, so they can learn.
and adjusting the parameters
Yeah.
until they're performing well.
That sounds pretty complex.
It can be, but there are tools that make it more accessible.
Oh, good. Like what?
Well, we talked about those pre-trained models. Yeah.
Which can be a great starting point.
Yeah. So you don't have to start from scratch.
And then there's automated machine learning,
Automated machine learning. Okay, what's that?
or AutoML for short.
Okay.
It's basically a way to automate parts of the model development process.
So it's like having a robot data scientist on your team,
Exactly. It can be incredibly powerful.
especially for teams that might not have a lot of AI expertise.
Right. And then there's also model as a service.
Model as a service. Okay, that sounds interesting.
So this is where you can essentially rent pre-built AI models
Rent them, like
Right.
from the cloud.
from cloud providers.
So it's like a plug-and-play approach to AI.
Exactly. It can be really helpful for certain types of projects.
That's cool. So you've got options for building your own models or using pre-built ones.
Exactly. It's all about choosing the right approach for your specific needs.
So once you've got your model built,
Yeah,
how do you know if it actually works?
that's a great question.
Yeah.
And that's where the next phase comes in.
Okay, what's that?
Model evaluation.
Model evaluation. Okay, so that's all about testing the model.
It's about rigorously testing our AI models
Yeah.
to make sure they're accurate,
Okay.
reliable,
Yeah.
and actually solving the problem we set out to address.
So it's not just about building a model, it's about making sure it's a good model.
Exactly. And one of the big things we need to watch out for is overfitting.
Overfitting, what's that?
So overfitting is when a model performs really well
Yeah.
on the data it was trained on,
Uh-huh.
but it fails to generalize to new data.
Okay, so it's like the model has memorized the training data,
Yeah.
but it can't handle anything new.
Exactly. It's like if you only ever studied
Yep.
past exam papers,
Uh-huh.
you might ace those exams,
Right.
but you wouldn't actually understand the material.
Okay, so overfitting is like teaching to the test.
Exactly. And it can be a real problem with AI.
So how do you avoid overfitting?
Well, there are techniques like cross-validation,
Okay.
where you split your data into different sets
Uh-huh.
and use some for training
Yeah.
and some for testing.
Okay.
And there are metrics
Mhm.
like precision,
Right.
recall.
And the F1 score.
Exactly. These help us assess how well our model is performing.
Okay, so we're making sure our AI model can handle the real world.
Exactly. And once we're confident in its performance,
Yeah.
we move on to the final phase,
All right, what's the last step?
model operationalization.
Model operationalization.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all about deploying the model.
It's about taking our model out of the lab, putting it to work in the real world.
So it's like graduation day for the AI model.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And just like with any new employee,
Yeah.
there are different ways to onboard an AI model.
Okay, like what?
Well, you might deploy it on the cloud,
Okay.
on-premise,
Uh-huh.
or even at the edge.
At the edge, what does that mean?
So that means deploying the model
Yeah.
on devices like smartphones or sensors.
Oh, wow. So the AI is running right there on the device.
Exactly. And there are lots of other considerations,
Wait, what?
like whether you need real-time predictions or batch predictions, how you're going to handle scalability
Yeah, what if the demand suddenly spikes?
and security.
Right, you don't want your AI model getting hacked.
Exactly. So choosing the right deployment strategy
Yeah.
is critical for making sure the model actually works in the real world.
It sounds like a lot to think about.
It is. And that's why CPMAI dedicates a whole phase to this process.
Okay.
It helps you consider all those factors and make the right decisions for your project.
And it also stresses the importance of model governance.
Model governance, right?
What's that all about?
So model governance is about making sure
Yeah.
that your AI model is used responsibly
Okay.
and ethically.
So it's about making sure the AI is a force for good.
Exactly. We
Yeah.
need to be careful that
Right.
our AI models aren't biased or discriminatory,
Right.
or that they're not used for harmful purposes.
That's really important.
It is. And CPMAI provides guidance on how to establish those processes and controls.
So you're not just deploying the model. You're deploying it responsibly.
Exactly. So we've walked through the 6 phases of CPMAI.
Man, that was a lot.
It's a lot to take in.
That's good stuff.
It is. And I think it's clear that this methodology is about much more than just building a model.
Right. It's about the whole life cycle.
It's about understanding the business context,
Yeah.
preparing the data, choosing the right approach, ensuring the model is robust.
And deploying it responsibly.
Exactly. It's a holistic approach to AI project management.
So you're saying CPMAI is like the secret sauce for successful AI projects.
I think it's a key ingredient for sure.
And a crucial element of that secret sauce
Yeah,
is this idea of trustworthy AI.
trustworthy AI.
So what's that all about?
So this is about ensuring that AI is developed and used in a way
Yeah.
that is ethical,
Oh, yeah.
safe, and beneficial to society.
So it's about making sure AI is used for good.
Exactly. We need to be mindful of the potential impact of AI on people's lives.
Absolutely. AI can be powerful, so we need to use it wisely.
And CPMAI helps us do that.
How so?
Well, it addresses those ethical considerations in every phase of the project lifecycle.
So it's not just an afterthought, it's baked into the whole process.
Exactly. It's about building trust into our AI systems.
That's so important, especially as AI becomes more and more prevalent in our lives.
And that's what we'll be diving into next.
Okay, I'm ready when you are.
Let's do it. Okay, so we've unpacked those 6 phases of CPMAI.
We have.
But it's a lot to take in.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around how it all actually plays out in a real-world project.
I hear you. It can be a little abstract.
Right. Like, how do you take these phases and actually apply them to a real business problem?
Yeah, good point.
Do you have any examples of, like, a real company using CPMAI?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, so imagine a retail company. They want to use AI to personalize customer experiences.
Yeah, that's a hot topic these days.
Totally. Every retailer wants to do that.
But where do they even start?
Right. It can be overwhelming.
Yeah, there are so many possibilities with AI, it's hard to know where to focus.
And that's where CPMAI comes in.
Okay, so how does CPMAI help them get started?
Well, that initial business understanding phase is crucial.
Okay.
Remember the DIUW pyramid?
The one with data at the bottom and wisdom at the top?
Exactly. That pyramid helps guide those initial conversations.
How so?
Well, instead of just saying, hey, let's do some AI, you start by asking AI-specific questions.
Okay, like what kind of questions?
Like, what data do we have about customer interactions?
Okay.
Can we use AI to personalize product recommendations? Can we predict customer churn?
Right. So you're pinpointing specific problems
Exactly.
that AI can solve.
And making sure those solutions actually align with the company's goals.
Okay, that makes sense. So it's all about being strategic with your AI.
Absolutely. AI is a tool,
right?
Not a magic wand.
And once you've identified those potential use cases for AI, what happens next?
Well, CPMAI guides you through prioritizing and scoping the project.
So you figure out which AI projects are the most important.
Right, which ones will have the biggest impact.
And then you figure out how much time and resources they'll need.
Exactly. And this might involve running pilot projects.
Oh, yeah. Pilot projects. Those are like small-scale test runs, right?
Exactly. You test out different approaches in a real-world environment.
So you can see what works and what doesn't.
And you get feedback from users.
Without having to commit to a full-blown project.
Exactly. Pilot projects are a great way to de-risk your AI initiatives.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So you're saying CPMAI helps you figure out which AI projects are worth pursuing.
And it helps you manage those projects effectively.
And I bet it also helps you think about the time to ROI for different types of AI projects.
Absolutely. Some applications might deliver quick wins,
Okay.
while others might require longer-term investment.
So you need to be realistic about the time frames.
Totally. AI is not an overnight solution.
And I read something about how some people are talking about using generative AI to shortcut those AI projects.
Oh yeah, that's a hot topic right now.
What's the deal with that?
Well, generative AI is all about creating new content,
Okay.
whether it's text,
We're not
images,
even code.
and some experts think it can be used to generate synthetic data.
Oh, right. To supplement those limited data sets we were talking about?
Exactly. Or even to help automate parts of the model development process.
So like AI building AI.
Yeah, pretty mind-blowing stuff.
It is, but it's still early days for that technology.
Definitely. It has a lot of potential, but it's not a silver bullet.
Okay, so even with those potential shortcuts, you still need a solid team to make it all work.
Oh, absolutely. You can't just throw AI at a problem and hope for the best.
Right, it takes people with the right skills and experience.
Exactly. And CPMAI emphasizes the importance of having a diverse skill set on your team.
Okay, like...
Well, you need data scientists
Okay.
to build those models.
You need data engineers
To
prepare the data.
And of course, you need skilled project managers.
Right, to keep everything on track.
Who understand the nuances of AI.
Yeah, because AI projects come with their own set of challenges.
So it's not just about having technical skills.
Right, you need people who can manage the complexity of AI.
And one of the biggest challenges I keep hearing about
What's that?
is data quality.
Data quality. Yeah, garbage in, garbage out, right?
Exactly. That's why those data understanding and data preparation phases are so crucial.
Okay.
You need to identify potential data issues early on.
Right before they come back to bite you.
And have a plan to address them.
And CPMAI actually talks about this concept of data debt.
Data debt. What's that?
It's like technical debt.
Okay.
But for data.
So it's the cost of using bad data.
Yeah, and it can really come back to haunt you later.
It can lead to inaccurate models.
Okay.
Biased outcomes. Even project failures.
Ouch.
It's much better to invest the time and effort up front.
Right.
To get your data in order.
Okay, so data quality is a big deal.
It's essential for a successful AI.
And that's where data engineering comes in.
Exactly. Data engineers are the unsung heroes of AI.
So they're the ones who build those robust data pipelines.
Right. They make sure the data is clean, transformed,
and ready to be used for training those AI models.
It's like laying the foundation for a house.
Oh, yeah, I like that analogy.
You might not see it once the house is built.
Right.
But it's what keeps everything stable and standing.
Okay, so we've got our business problem defined, our team assembled, our data prepped and ready to go.
All right, we're ready to roll.
Now it's time for the AI magic to happen, right?
Now the fun begins.
Model development.
This is where we train those algorithms on our carefully curated data.
Okay.
So they can learn patterns and make predictions.
So this is where we choose the right algorithms.
Yes.
And actually build the model.
It gets pretty technical here.
It does, but that's okay. We don't have to get into the weeds.
We can keep it high level.
Right. The important thing is to understand the process.
And CPMAI provides a framework for navigating this effectively.
Okay, good.
It emphasizes understanding the different types of machine learning algorithms.
Like supervised and unsupervised learning.
Exactly, and choosing the right one for your specific problem.
Right, because there's no one-size-fits-all approach to AI.
And let's not forget about those tools that are making model development more accessible.
Oh, yeah, like AutoML.
The robot data scientist.
And model as a service.
Right, the plug-and-play AI.
Those are great options, especially for teams that might not have deep machine learning expertise.
They can really level the playing field.
Okay, but even with those tools, it's still important to understand the process.
Absolutely, you need to know what's going on under the hood.
And to be able to evaluate different models effectively.
So you can choose the best model for your needs.
And that's where that model evaluation phase comes in.
Exactly. You got to make sure the model actually works.
Right. It's not enough for it to just spit out results.
It needs to be accurate and reliable.
And we need to watch out for things like overfitting.
Right, where the model memorizes the training data.
But can't handle anything new.
And that's where techniques like cross-validation come in.
Okay.
And metrics like precision and recall.
So we're making sure our AI model is ready for the real world.
Exactly. We're putting it through its paces.
And once we're confident in its performance,
then it's time to set it free.
Model operationalization.
Time to deploy that model and see what it can do.
This is where we take it out in the lab and put it to work.
It's like taking a car off the assembly line.
Yeah.
And making sure it's actually roadworthy.
I like that analogy.
So we need to choose the right deployment strategy.
Right. Like cloud on-premise edge.
Exactly. And we need to think about things like scalability.
Uh-huh. What if the demand suddenly spikes?
You
don't want your AI model getting hacked.
And, of course, cost.
Right, because AI can be expensive.
It can be, so you need to make sure you're getting a good return on your investment.
And CPMAI provides guidance for making all those decisions.
It does. It helps you weigh the pros and cons of different approaches.
And it also emphasizes model governance.
Right, making sure the model is used responsibly and ethically.
So we're not just deploying the model. We're deploying it responsibly.
It's all about building trust in AI.
So CPMAI, it's not just about the technology.
Right.
It's about the people.
Yeah.
The processes.
And the ethics.
Exactly. It's a holistic approach to AI project management.
And that's what makes it so powerful.
Okay, so we've seen how CPMAI works in practice.
Yeah, from defining the problem to deploying the solution.
It's a lot to take in, but it's really helpful to see how it all comes together.
And there's one more piece of the puzzle.
Oh, yeah, what's that?
That trustworthy AI piece.
Trustworthy AI, yes,
Yeah.
That's a big one.
And that's what we'll pick up next.
I'm ready when you are. All right, so we've covered a lot of ground with the CPMAI thing.
We have.
The methodology, the phases, how it works in the real world.
It's a lot.
But now I'm thinking,
Yeah.
I want to get myself CPMAI certified.
Oh, cool.
So where do I even begin?
Well, the best place to start is the Cognilytica website.
Cognilytica?
They're the ones behind CPMAI.
Okay.
They run the whole certification program.
Got it. So I go to their website
Yeah.
and then what?
Well, you'll see they have those 3 levels we talked about.
Right. CPMAI, CPMAI++, and CPMAI plus E.
Exactly.
Can we break those down a bit more?
Sure.
Like, what's the difference between them?
So CPMAI is the foundational level.
Okay.
That gives you that core understanding of the methodology.
Got it.
Then CPMAI++ builds on that,
Okay.
adding expertise in areas like
Yeah.
big data,
Uh-huh.
data science,
Okay.
even things like robotic process automation.
Wow. Okay, so it gets pretty advanced.
It does.
And then CPMAI plus E,
That one focuses on the ethical considerations of AI.
right? Ethics is a huge part of AI these days.
Absolutely.
So how do I know which level is right for me?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
It really depends on your experience
Yeah.
and what you want to achieve.
Right.
If you're new to AI project management,
Yeah.
I'd say CPMAI, a solid starting point.
Okay.
But if you're already working with big data,
Uh-huh.
or you're really interested in the ethical side of AI,
Yeah.
then those plus levels might be a better fit.
Okay, that makes sense. I think I'm definitely leaning towards getting certified.
Awesome.
What's the training actually like?
So it's all online and self-paced,
Oh, that's good.
so you can learn on your own time, at
Huh.
your own speed.
Perfect. That's what I like to hear.
No pressure.
So what does the training actually involve?
Each course has a mix of
Okay.
video lessons,
Makes
exercises,
Okay.
and even a workbook
A workbook.
that help you apply the concepts
Oh,
to real-world scenarios.
so it's not just theory.
No, it's very practical.
And of course, there's a certification exam at the
Of
end.
course, got to make sure you know your stuff.
So let me get this straight.
Yeah.
I learn the concepts.
Yeah.
I practice with exercises.
Right.
I apply them in the workbook.
Exactly.
And then I take the exam to prove I know my stuff.
You got it.
Sounds pretty thorough.
It is. It's designed to be comprehensive.
And do you get just one shot at the exam?
Actually, you get 2 attempts,
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
just in case you have a bad day.
And once you're certified, does
Yeah.
that certification expire?
Nope. Once you're certified on a specific CPMAI version,
Okay.
it doesn't expire.
That's a relief. But AI moves so fast.
It does.
How do I stay up to date?
That's a good question.
Yeah, what if there's like a new version of CPMAI or something?
Well, Cognilytica updates CPMAI periodically,
Okay.
and when a new version comes out,
Yeah.
they offer a discounted upgrade path
Oh, that's good.
for those who are already certified.
So you don't have to start from scratch.
Exactly. You can just build on what you already know.
Okay, so it's an investment in my ongoing development.
Exactly. It's not a one-time thing.
That makes sense. But let's talk about the practicalities.
Yeah.
What's the cost involved?
Well, the cost varies depending on the certification level you choose.
Okay.
But it's really an investment in your career.
Right. I get that.
Think of it this way.
Yeah.
Employers are looking for people who can lead successful AI projects.
Mm-hmm.
And this certification shows you have the skills and knowledge to do just that.
So it can make me more marketable.
Absolutely. It can give you a competitive edge.
And I've seen that certified professionals are getting better salaries
Oh, yeah.
and landing leadership roles.
Definitely the demand for AI talent is high.
In really interesting projects, too.
The possibilities are endless with AI.
Okay, so it's not just about the money.
Right.
It's about the opportunities.
And beyond the tangible benefits,
Yeah.
there's also the value of what you learn.
Right.
CPMAI gives you a powerful framework for approaching AI projects in a way that's both successful and responsible.
It's not just about building a model, it's about building it, right?
That's right.
So if you're serious about a career in AI or you're already in the field and want to level up, I highly recommend checking out CPMAI certification.
It's a game changer for sure.
Well, this deep dive has definitely convinced me.
Awesome.
I'm feeling inspired to tackle those AI challenges head on.
That's the spirit. Remember, the world of AI is constantly evolving.
It is.
So stay curious and keep learning.
Great advice. And on that note,
Yeah.
I think we've reached the end of our deep dive into CPMAI.
That was a good one.
Thanks for joining us, everyone, and we'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.